Welcome to the Dawg Podcast. I'm your host, Matt DeBritz, and look who's in the house. My brother, Fritz. Came for the night, hang out, watch some basketball, and Syracuse gets a win, 78-73. And really, oh man, my internet's going off as we're doing this live podcast. Lame. Anyways, the game really changed when Syracuse went to the press. And Fritz over here was like, well, why is that? And I said, because Notre Dame is great and methodical in the half-court offense, but when you go to the press, it speeds them up. They're not as athletic, they're not as fast, and it changed the game.
Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame kind of were suckers. They went for it. They went for the, sped it up. They didn't set up their good three-point shots. I mean, they just started kind of going for the easy dunks and stuff. And, yeah, it basically was the game changer. But I think you were saying maybe 5-8 minutes before that, they should have gone to the press.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm a big proponent of the press. It's like go to the press when it's not going well in the zone defense. Go to the press.
I said man-to-man. Why could you just go for a little man-to-man?
No, that's not going to happen. But the press will always happen. So, in the Virginia game last week, I was imploring for that press. Came in too little too late. Pittsburgh game, same thing. Begs the question.
There's just something.
Why don't you just go to the press, man? Go to the press. You got the athletes. You got the bench. I mean, the biggest thing in the press also was no Girard in the game, and actually no Edwards for a little part of that too. So it's all the freshman guys, and Hema. So 4 freshmen in Hema, and Malik Brown. Continues to play well. He gets deflections. Another solid game. 15 points, 6 rebounds, and he missed 1 shot. So in the last 3 games, he's averaging 12 points a game, like 9 rebounds. He's shooting like 72%.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is just doing his job. Like I've said a million of my podcasts, go back and look at my shorts and stuff. It says Malik Brown does his job. Malik Brown's energy guy. Malik Brown does his job.
Yeah.
And you can keep doing it because it's on repeat because he keeps doing it. He just dunks. He picks his spots.
But Chris Brown was the one that basically kept him in the game.
Chris Bell, you mean?
Yeah. Did I say Bell?
Malik Brown, Chris Bell.
Yeah, Bell. Yeah, I mean, he kept him in the game the first half, though. He was shooting insane.
Well, he had 17 points, and he barely missed from 3. We're live here. It's not – I can't remember all the stats on the fly here. So, 5 from 8 from 3, that's freaking insane, dude. What was more insane is Notre Dame, they were just cannon threes, but once they went to the press, as I said, they couldn't make them anymore, and they had 15 3-pointers. They still shot 41% from 3. That's damn good, and it's like – you're letting them stay in the game by playing that way. I just don't get it sometimes. But
yeah, I mean, it was a good it seems like every game there's a different set of players out there, whoever's working, and then they somehow pull it off. Last 2 games look pretty cool.
I'd say this is probably the most balanced attack this season. As I mentioned, Malik Brown, 15 points, Judah Mintz, 14 points, Jesse Edwards, 13 points. Girard and Williams started. Girard, 7 points. He was out most of the second half with that, getting his face slammed to the floor. But Benny Williams, 5 points, Major Doghouse, 17 points for Chris Bell. So all that adds up to 78 and a Syracuse win. Can't lose these games to Notre Dame, these bottom feeders, because it just hurts you. Doesn't really help you to win in the net rankings of the NCAA tournament, but it helps the team maybe gain confidence to play some of the better teams. Duke today lost to Clemson. Clemson's 7-0 in the ACC. So now Clemson becomes an attractive matchup at some point. Syracuse can get a win against them instead of, I said before the season, you kind of looked on their schedule, had, Virginia, you had North Carolina, you had Duke, were opportunities to get some better wins.
Yeah.
But now Clemson has become a better win. And actually the Pittsburgh loss isn't as bad because now Pittsburgh is a team that's in the field. So,
yeah, but playing from behind like they have, that's such a bad kind of culture as far as like get behind, get 10 points behind or something like. What was the game 2 games ago where they got down like
Virginia.
20? Yeah. I mean, it was just like it's broken early and there's no change. There's no adjust, put in some new guys, put the press on. It needs to happen faster. That's the problem.
Just do anything. I mean, it's maddening to watch, and, fans, Q's fans all over the place. Obviously there's split people on Boeheim and how he is.
He's just lethargic. He goes very slow. He's very thorough. Like he doesn't like overreact, right? So he doesn't go, he's like, let's stick with what works, guy.
Yeah.
But perfect example would have been the man, just like a little man for like about 3 minutes, just kind of mess him up. And the press did messed up the offense because those guys, besides shooting threes, they weren't doing much. And then when they had to go to the basket, they tried a few times. They had to work a lot harder,
Yeah.
It's a beer. There we go. Yeah, it's live.
Yeah, I mean, this is a different type of podcast. Usually mine's
exactly.
more a.
I got a nod to the King of Cape Cod, so just let that throw that in there.
But it's a different type of podcast. Going back and forth to my podcast. Sometimes it's sometimes it's more informative. Sometimes it's a preview. Sometimes it's just fun.
Free form. Yeah.
Tonight's just for fun. I mean, got my brother here. It's special occasion. Hanging out. So this is a different one.
I am the informal producer. I think you probably should mention that.
I don't know.
I definitely.
I'm gonna have to talk to HR about that, but I'm not sure.
You can ask where my paycheck is too while you're at it.
Yeah, it's lost in the mail.
Yeah. Exactly.
Our payroll guys they're not that good.
Yeah,
right now. They're just not that
they should
good.
use email first of all. Okay.
Yeah, they should. They should.
They
PayPal or something.
Should definitely
or
modernize. Yeah, try to modernize that. But anyway, when's the next game? By the way,
when's the next game?
Because I rely on Dome Dog to kind of like keep the schedule going.
Yeah.
Let me know when things are gonna what networks they are on. I mean, I need Dome Dog for all these things.
It is hard.
It's not that easy to keep track.
It is hard to keep track of the networks because just twice in the last week they've changed the network on us last minute. Yeah. It's like come on, man. Like not everyone's like checking Twitter for the game times.
I mean, when you go to ESPN News, that's just rough.
But is ESPN News worse than the ACC Network X?
That's true. That's
like
close.
That's pretty much regional TV for all you guys that watch Syracuse. You know what we're talking about. Like if you're in the Syracuse area, you might get it on Yes Network. Where I live, Connecticut, I have to get it on the app or on my Hulu. I think Hulu is the best for it, honestly, because it gives you all the games, like even if the ESPN Plus games are there. So you don't have to go searching through this app or this channel. It's like it's right there. So that's much better.
Yeah.
Next game is against Miami. That's on Monday. So it's short turnaround. It's
what kind of record
in Miami. And
what's their record?
The Miami's doing pretty well this year, but let me check because
it's usually a good matchup for them. Yeah, I mean, like they're good teams. So I was just wondering if they go up against somebody that's got a couple more playmakers, not just a 3-point shooting machine. Like what's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean Miami's really good this year. They're 14-3. So they lost today to
that's gonna be a tough game.
NC State by a bucket. So I mean, Syracuse coming off a tough game, Miami coming off a tough game. That's life in the ACC. Yeah. I mean, there's a tough game every single night. But I will say that this is probably the most wide open I've seen the ACC in a long time since Syracuse been in it because Duke's really not that strong. They lost to Clemson. I know Clemson's better, but that doesn't happen too often. Duke's not losing to Clemson too many times. North Carolina, even though they were in the championship last year, they kind of started this year like they started last year. They kind of started sluggish. My boy Adam Peterson, what's up with that, man?
Come on, Adam.
The other thing is, so those teams, Virginia's good again, but it's not like they're not beatable. So
they're not like unstoppable, right?
I've said kind of before when Syracuse lost to Bryant and they lost to Colgate, that really screwed them in the net rankings, which what the NCAA tournament uses to get teams in. And it's not, and like we were talking about before, they can't lose these games because these games don't really help them, but they really could hurt them when they lose them. This Miami game is a good game to win because definitely they are higher ranked in that rankings. I could look that up real quick, but I mean, it's just a road game in the ACC. I don't even look it up. It's a road game in the ACC, and we'll see what's going on. So,
well, I think the other factor with SU right now is like the changing lineups. Like, how many other teams have this many guys playing and then like complete different guys than the starters kind of at the end of the game? I mean, it's that's a little bit of an anomaly, I'd say.
Definitely is for Jim Boeheim because generally plays like maybe 7 guys.
Yeah, and they don't no variation.
Right.
Like, yeah.
It's almost like the bench guys. I mean, the bench guys are playing starters minutes. Benny Williams got the quick hook again, and
why did he get the hook again? I wasn't watching.
So
I was in transit.
So pretty much Boeheim said in the press conference the other day that he needs to be around the basket and going for dunks and getting his own shot off of dunks, rebounds, steals. Pretty much what Malik Brown does.
Yeah.
But Benny Williams consistently shoots like 15, 20 footers or threes, and when they don't go in, the hook's out. I mean, and it's like, okay, now Boeheim has actually said this in the press conference. And if you're Benny Williams, you got to be like, all right, I just got to change my game. I mean, eventually.
It's not that easy to change your game, though. If that's his game, that's what he's used to playing. He's probably been playing that way for like 8 years. Because you have Bell. Bell is the solid shooter guy.
Yeah.
He's solidified that spot. Edwards, of course, like he's just a monster in there. He's getting all those rebounds. I mean, when they don't have any big guys, he just eats up the boards. It's insane. So you got Mintz is going to stay there because he's point guard. Gerard's going to be 2. Those are like the solid guys. I guess it's the Benny Williams option, bring in Justin Taylor or, possibly Malik Brown. But Malik Brown is needed under the boards.
Yeah.
Jesse Edwards can't do everything, especially at the end of the game. So he should probably start.
Brown?
Yeah. You should probably start.
But if you,
if he was in the whole game, it might just be that much better. I mean, like when you think about it,
I just don't think just and I'm watching Boeheim for a million years, and also
he stays with his guys. He rides or die. Yeah, he's
like
kind of like Lloyd.
This is a very obscure reference, but I'm going to use it anyways. If you're a Syracuse fan, you would know it from the way back.
Does this got something to do with pizza? Or
nope, okay. Does not. David Syak was this like stiff center guy. And he started all the time. And Connor McRae, who kind of had like some trouble with like NCAA violations or something like that. So David Syak was a stiff guy from like Binghamton. He started, and McRae comes back, and McRae is clearly better center, but they kept David Syak in all the time.
Oh yeah.
To start, even though McRae would play more minutes, just in the fact that I think in his head, it's like, if I put him back on the bench, I'll just lose him. Pissed off, and he should be pissed off. He's getting his minutes taken away, but can either change, and say, I'm going to just be a freaking monster of a rebounder, or don't. And if you don't, you're kind of, I wouldn't say you're out, but there's that patience is going to run thin. And at a certain point, Brown will start, and it won't be Williams. It may not be this year, but it could be, definitely be next year.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. Yeah.
All right. We'll see. Well, that was pretty fun. But I know we rambled on a little bit there for our fans, but let's try something new. First time going live. Cracking beers, watching games as we're doing this, looking up stats on the fly. A little fun. All right. That's all I got for the Dawg Podcast. Check me out on Instagram, Facebook, facebook.com/DawgPod.
Everywhere.
And
just go to Google and say Dawg Pod. You get everything.
Yeah.
There. Yeah, that's easier.
That's all we got for tonight.
All right.
Take it easy.
See ya.